All right, everybody. We talk about how what we're doing in class relates to the real world. So we used a track example, and why in the Olympics, when you're running a race, do they stagger the people? So this is an example. I'm going to go through two examples of how you would calculate how far someone runs around a track, and then I'm going to give you a chance to do one on your own. So please make sure before you start answering the questions, go back in the video. If you don't understand, go back in the video. So first of all, I'm going to draw a little track. I know that's not a very good track, but let's just pretend. And the way a track is made up of, if you go to any high school football track, it's basically a rectangle. So these are more like straight. And then if you're running around, you run around these two curved parts, like right here. And then you run a little straightaway, which is right here. And then you go around the curved part again, and then you run around another straightaway. Well, the way that they construct this is there's basically two parts, or sorry, three parts. Part A is just a rectangle. Part B and part C are half circles. So if you put B and C together, it would look just like this. So first of all, to figure out how far someone runs from here to here, you just need to know a distance. So I'm going to tell you, and I'm just making this up, that from there to there is 40 meters. Okay. Well, if you run from 40 meters from there to there, you also run those 40 meters as you go from here to here. So if you're running around, you know you at least go 80 meters, and that's from the 40 plus the 40. Now the circle, I need to know the distance from here to here. And the reason why I need to know that, I'm making this up, I'm saying it's 60 meters from here to here. The reason why 60 meters is really, really important is because that's going to actually tell us from, if you connect the circles, that's the line that goes directly from the top to the bottom through the center. That's the diameter. So if I tell you it's 60 from here to here, when you put those circles together, that line is 60. Remember, if you want to know how far is it around the circle, which would be, just a reminder, if you go this part in blue and this part in blue, that's going to be the entire circle. If you want to know how far it takes you to go around the circle, we just use that circumference. So we're doing the circumference formula, which is circumference equals, circumference equals pi times diameter. Well, we know pi is 3.14 multiplied by the diameter they tell us is 60. And when you do 3.14 times 60, I'm just getting out my calculator real quick, 3.14 times 60, you get 188.4. Now, when you know that when you go around this blue part, it's 188.4. But when you go around this, like, I guess we'll call it the red part, it's 80 because 40 and 40. So if you add those two numbers together, you actually get how far you would go. Sorry, that's 180.4 plus 80 is going to equal 268.4 meters. And that's how far it would be if you were to go all the way around the track. Well, what if there was a person next to you? Okay. If there was a person right next to you, and I'm going to make a different color, I'm going to say green. Let's say there was a person next to you and they were running around this part of the track. And you want to know how far did that person run, because they're going to actually run further than the person that ran on the inside, because they actually have a bigger circle. There's a bigger diameter. So how do you figure out that person? Well, you're going to kind of do it the same way, except this from here to here is no longer, well, actually, you know what? It is. It's still 40. So we still know that this person from here to here runs 40, and from here to here is still going to run 40. But the circle that they're running in is a little bit bigger. So we'd actually have to know how much more do we add to the diameter? Basically, I don't know if hopefully you can see this, but I'm putting a little line. There's a little bit extra right here. There's a little extra here, and there's a little bit extra over here that would go all the way down. So you would need to know this information. I'm going to tell you that this person is 2 meters this way and 2 meters this way. All right? So when you go to write the other circle and you want to know the diameter, it's no longer 60, because it was 60, but then you added 2 here and you added 2 here. which means it's actually now 64. Because remember, it was 60 from here to here, but we added 2 and we added 2 because that's how much further the person was. So this person has a circular, it's the diameter of 64. So when we go to find the circumference, we're still going to do pi times diameter, but now we're going to do 3.14 times no longer 60, but 64. And when you do that, you get 64 times 314, you get 296. Okay? And that means you would have to add the 296, 200.96, 296 hundredths, plus the 80. Don't forget the straightaways, the 80. And this person's actually going to run 280.96. Well, look at what we were talking about. That's why you can't start them at the same spot, because if you did, this person would be only running 268 meters. This person would be running like 281 meters. It's not a fair race if someone runs longer. Right? So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and we're going to kind of do this a little at a time, because if you make a mistake, you want to change your answer before going on, because then you get them all wrong. So if you make a mistake, we're going to go over each answer so that you can, so that you make sure that you get the other ones right. So I'm going to draw a circle. And the first question, well, go ahead and draw it with me. Now, we're going to have someone run right on the inside of this track. Okay, and I'm going to tell you right now that from here to here is 30 meters. And from here to here is 50 meters up and down. So the first thing I want to know is what would be the total amount the person would run for the straightaways. Okay. Now, hopefully you said 60 because 30 and 30. Now, if you didn't, just remember that the real answer is 60. So when you go to do the other problems, use 60. Don't use what you did, but it would be 60. The next question I want to know is what's the diameter? If you put the parts of the circle together, because we're going to have to find the circumference, what would the diameter of that circle be? Well, hopefully you said 50 because it says it right here. From there to there is 50. What formula would you use to find the circumference? All right, hopefully you pick circumference equals pi times diameter. So right now what I want you to do is try to figure out what would be the total circumference that you would use for the circle going around, and I'll do it in blue. What would the total amount you would run if you just ran the blue parts? Right, well, hopefully you did 3.14 times 50 and 3.14 times 50. And remember, pi is not exactly 3.14. It's about. So you get the circumference is 157. My final question is, how far would the person run if they ran all the way around the track? Once around, not twice, just once around the track, how far would they run? All right, well, hopefully you said 60 plus 157 is 217. And, well, you didn't have to put meters because it was multiple choice meters. Okay. Let's try one more. I'm just going to give you one more just to try on your own. And you guys will do it completely from the beginning. Sorry. We're going to give you a different track. All right, here we go. Here's your track. There's your track. This is the straightaways. It kind of shouldn't be like, it should be pretty straight right there. Okay. Now we know from there to there this is going to be in feet now. We're going to say is 20 feet. We're going to say top to bottom is 35 feet. And the question is, you're going to have to do everything in here. The question is, how far would this person run if they ran all the way around the track? The final answer, all the way around the track. Okay? So just to see if your answer was right, you should have done 20 and 20, which means the straightaways are 40. And then the circumference, pi times diameter. So circumference is 3.14 times the diameter of 35. So 35 times 3.14 is 109. The circumference is 109.9 feet. and we're going to add that to the 40 feet. And if you add those two numbers together, you get 149.9 feet, which would have been your answer. Hope that helps. If not, make sure you come on Friday for Reteach Reassess, because we are going to continue to grade you on these kind of problems. I hope you guys have a great day.